People and events that made headlines. And history for 1/10 of a nation. A new era began in Washington, D.C. with the inauguration of Dwight D. Eisenhower as President of the United States, the first Republican chief executive in 20 years. The inaugural parade was cheered by a crowd of 750,000, the largest in the capital's history. It was an historic day for America. New faces entered government under the new administration. Veteran welfare worker Mrs. Jane Morrow Spaulding joined the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, later shifted to the War Claims Commission, both high-level jobs. Attorney Vernon F. Green was named legal counsel on the staff of Postmaster General Summerfield in the upper echelons of the department. A Howard University graduate, Green is commissioned to practice before the Supreme Court, weighty evidence of legal prowess. Scoville Richardson, Dean of Lincoln University's Law School, became the first Negro member of the Federal Parole Board. Roberta Church, daughter of the late GOP leader Robert R. Church, Jr., and an experienced public servant in her own right, entered the U.S. Labor Department, bringing with her experience of social work on an international scale. With another job international in scope, Mrs. Carmel Carrington Marr of the U.S. delegation to the United Nations was named one of the year's 10 outstanding young women by a national women's magazine for her work as advisor on the Far East to Ambassador Lodge. Savannah banker Louis B. Toomer took office as Register of the Treasury, first member of the race to hold the post in 40 years. Billions of dollars in important government financial documents were signed by his four predecessors. Highest ranking in government office is E. Frederick Morrow, advisor on business affairs for the National Production Authority. His role, to assist Secretary of Commerce Weeks in carrying out the department's reorganization program and to act as liaison man with other federal agencies, a policy-making position. Another chapter in history closed with the end of hostilities in Korea. At Panmunjom, UN truce negotiators reached agreement with Red representatives, an agreement that fully satisfied no one, but that ended 3 years of bitter, bloody fighting. Returning POWs were living evidence of communist brutality, and communist atrocities were denounced in the UN. But America and the world rejoiced at the end of fighting. As the prisoners of war, many of them given up for lost, came home, touching scenes of reunion with families and loved ones were frequent. Among the first POWs to arrive at New York was Sergeant Calvin Royal, welcomed by mothers whose dreams had come true. Honors came to many. Dedicated as a national shrine was the birthplace of George Washington Carver, the first Negro and the first American scientist so honored. 3,000 looked on as Missouri's Governor Phil M. Donnelly introduced Secretary of the Interior McKay, who formally dedicated the Diamond, Missouri Monument. A lasting tribute to the man who, in the words of Franklin D. Roosevelt, made all mankind his beneficiaries. Nationwide headlines were made with the election of Atlanta University President Dr. Rufus Clement to the Georgia City's Board of Education. The first Negro voted to public office here since Reconstruction days, Dr. Clement polled more than 22,000 ballots in a citywide contest, an electoral victory of major importance. In New York City's elections, Assemblyman Hewlin Jack, a veteran public servant, was elected president of the borough of Manhattan. The running mate of Mayor Robert Wagner, Hewlin Jack holds the highest elective office of any Negro in the United States. Matthew Henson, the only survivor of Admiral Peary's 1909 North Pole expedition, was honored by the world-famed Explorers Club with the unveiling of a bust. Dr. Channing Tobias extended congratulations to the only Negro ever to stand at the top of the world. At St. Louis Kiel Auditorium, during the annual convention of the NAACP, architect Paul Williams received the Spengarn Medal for Distinguished Achievement. Ranking at the top of his profession, Paul Williams is responsible for some of the finest buildings on the West Coast. Sharing the Spengarn Award with such figures as George Washington Carver and Ralph Bunche, Paul Williams rightfully earned this high honor. In the world of literature, the National Book Award for Fiction went to Ralph Ellison for his novel, The Invisible Man. Representing the entire publishing world, the late Frederick Lewis Allen made the presentation. It was the first novel by the young author, an auspicious start. Chicago's Olivet Baptist Church extended jubilant congratulations to its pastor, Dr. J.H. Jackson, new president of the National Baptist Convention, USA. Eminent figures from many nations gathered in India for a World Peace Seminar. Among them, greeted by Prime Minister Nehru, was Dr. Ralph Bunche, unanimously elected chairman of the meetings. Conventions of the leading social and fraternal organizations were bigger and better than ever. The nobles of the Mystic Shrine convened in Denver, Colorado. After the regular meetings, which were addressed by Attorney General Brownell, the picturesquely attired nobles staged the colorful, inimitable parade. The Elks made history when the organization convened in Atlanta, 150,000 strong. It was the first meeting of the national group in this southern city. And the big parade down Auburn Avenue dazzled the eye. Past the grand exalted ruler, Robert H. Johnson, and other dignitaries, groups from every part of the nation passed in review for hours. Atlanta will long remember the Elks' big day. The toast of the fashion world was model Dorothea Tolles. Home from her successes in Paris, she brought back a $70,000 wardrobe by the style capital's top designers, Dior, Schiaparelli, and many others. The last word in fashion. Controversy flared when women's hemlines went up in response to fashion decree, and some daring men struck back, appearing in Bermuda shorts. If hems go up, why not cuffs? These heroes of haberdashery proved ahead of their time in this appearance, but they're confident of final victory. Show business paid tribute to W.C. Handy, the grand old man of music, who celebrated his 80th birthday with the best wishes of a multitude of friends. George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess was revived in New York, featuring Cab Calloway in the role of Sportin' Life. Noble Sissel escorted star Urilee Leonardis to the premiere, a distinguished theatrical occasion. It was a star-studded evening as the production opened on Broadway after a triumphal tour of Europe to repeat its popular success at home. Ballerina Janet Collins rose to new heights with her selection as premier danseuse with the Metropolitan Opera. Dancing in such operas as Aida, this brilliant young star earned the critics' highest praise for her grace and style. The same season saw the opening of Take a Giant Step, the first drama by a Negro playwright on Broadway. Critical and popular praise was earned both by playwright Louis Peterson and the outstanding cast, as Take a Giant Step went on to 82 performances. '18-year-old Milton Campbell earned the title of America's top all-around athlete, winning the National AAU Decathlon with a great performance in 10 grueling events. He'll be making more sports headlines in years to come. Fans by the thousands thronged Yankee Stadium as the World Series got underway. A power-packed Brooklyn team was making its 7th try for just one victorious series. Roy Campanella, #1 player of the National League, rookie Junior Gilliam, and Jackie Robinson all performed brilliantly, but the results are only too familiar. Playing truly great baseball, Brooklyn was overwhelmed by the even greater play of the Yankees, winning only 2 out of 6 games. Diamond history was made, and Brooklyn once again heard the old cry, "Wait till next year." More Negroes than ever before played in organized baseball, proving a rich source of talent, vitally needed for the future of the sport. After the World Series, Roy Campanella, the unquestioned choice as most valuable player of the year, headed the first Negro Big League All-Star team in history on a barnstorming tour. Wherever they played, fans thrilled not only to superb baseball, but also that such a team was possible. Every man a big leaguer. In sports, as in every field, it's a true parade of progress.